seems like Cody Simon is maybe putting himself in a position here to have a role this year. And only his second year with some opportunities open up. What have you seen from him over the past year that maybe allowed him to do that?
Just a really mature kid, very focused. Process is really fast. Obviously very gifted physically, but he's just a mature kid for his age. I mean, he took last year, for example, didn't play much, but really learned from the guys that were playing and took advantage of it at that time. So I'm real excited about Cody, and he's a phenomenal leader as well. Players really respond to him.
Taraji just kind of had more of a serious demeanor about himself. Part of the reason is there's openings. I mean, you lost 4 guys. Which means someone's got to step up and take that role. Have you seen other guys in the position room maybe have a little bit more pep in their step when they know that there's actually an opportunity for them to get on the field?
Yeah, for sure. I think all of them, starting with Taraj. I think he's done a great job stepping into a leadership role off the field, taking it upon himself to organize things, and just having more of a voice, which is great to see. Kayvon Pope is a young player. Well, he's a player, I should say young player, but he's a player that's a part of that group, man, that's really had a really strong push. This camp's done a really good job, and it's really bought in and just kind of, matured, man, and so I'm really proud of him. I mean, Tommy Eichenberg, unbelievable, just tough kid, accountable kid, just a person that is just showing up. So, I mean, there's a whole Dallas game. It's another one, obviously. Dallas has been here, and he's done a really good job, and just having a great presence for us. And I don't want to forget anybody, but there's been a good number of those guys stepping up.
How close or how far are you from settling on your starters, and how much will you mix and match this year depending on the situation?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think we're about 3 weeks, a little under 3 weeks away. So yeah, we have a good idea. We got a good idea, but again, we're still in the dog days of camp. This is day 8. I think we just finished up, which there's still a lot there. So whether we rotate, how we rotate as a defense, I think that depends on how things shake out. But there's still a good bit of time left.
Cody and Taraj have said that really there's no set position. Everybody's playing everywhere. You kind of describe what that process is like. Is that true that there's no mic in the room, just kind of moving around and figure that out later?
Yeah, so that was by design. So a big part of that was, so you take the offseason, for example, it's giving everybody a big picture view of the defense, what we're doing. And so challenging them mentally, giving them a chance to, try one at Mike, one at Will. And with that being said, as we get closer to game time, those things, those changes kind of reduce, because I think you got to get your cleats in the ground. And some guys will have to. That's just how it is. Some guys have to know both, But for the most part, as we get closer to game time, we're going to have a Mike and we're going to have a Will.
Roger's been waiting for this for a long time. What tells you that he's ready for it now?
Well, he's just shown me. I mean, he's matured. His preparation, his consistent effort. But obviously, he's got to perform, and he's been doing that. He's been really working at it. So, I mean, I don't think there's one thing that a person can show. It's consistency, and his approach has been that. Obviously, he's eager to go out and do what he loves to do, and that's play football. And the best thing about football is, when you get on the field, the play speaks. Your play speaks for itself. So, and he's done that, and I'm really proud of what he's done so far this camp.
He's talking about more of a greater understanding of what the offense is going to do to him.
Yeah.
How is he bringing that out? How are you trying to find that for him so he's not just reacting on the field? What's the process there?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just time. You think about when you're a freshman, you're just trying to figure out, what the heck is going on, right? The more time you spend anywhere, you learn more. And obviously with him, a lot of film study. We've had countless hours, the past 2 years, just to all 3 of those guys. The majority of our work was, in the film room. And our offense, Coach Day does a great job every day of, we have some of the best players in the country here. And so we see a lot, and, we get a chance to talk about different things, and we try to highlight what the opponent's doing. So for him, I think it's just a natural process of any player being able to digest more. The game slows down a little bit, and you can kind of maybe understand or interpret what the offense is doing pre-snap.
Because you lost top four, probably the most unsettled unit on the team. In your mind, how comfortable are you with where you are and that you're going to be able to play starting with Minnesota at the level that you need to?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, I don't think, first off, I'm very comfortable with the group, you know, comfortable with their character, their talent, you know, so they put themselves in position to do everything up until this point. So I'm very confident in each of those guys. What was the other part of your question?
Well, just the idea that, you know, it is the most unsettled unit.
Yeah.
Because you lost four, not just good players, and they're great players, great leaders. That's a huge void.
Yep.
And you got to, it's not just filling one hole, it's filling all of them.
Yeah.
What's your level of comfort with that?
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, when you lose great guys or great guys move on, the benefit is the guys that are next, they get a blueprint of how it's done right, how it's done properly. So much of what we do is, you know, obviously what you can see. And so my expectation is for those guys to learn from that, and they have. They've carried themselves in the way appropriately. So I'm confident, and you know, they're all talented, so we just got to go play.
Al, Kayvon is a little smaller than some of the guys you see play like Will here traditionally.
Yeah.
Do you still feel comfortable playing him in those spots, or is he more of a Sam when you go with those three linebackers?
No, so I think Kayvon, you know, what he may lack in size, he makes up for in explosiveness, quickness, instinctiveness. So, no, I don't think the way he runs really well. I just think in general, every player has certain attributes, certain things they do well. They're not always going to look the same. So I'm confident in his ability. You know, he can play. When the ball's snapped and, you know, he gets his cleats in the ground, he can play. So we really don't spend much time thinking about that, and I think he can do that job. You know, I think we got him at the right place.
Al, kind of a follow-up to that. When the bullet becomes a part of the base defense, that takes what used to be a linebacker position out of the linebacker room. Has that kind of ramped up the competition in your room by kind of condensing things down to those two other spots?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, that right there, I mean, that's just normal sub-package stuff, right? I mean, based on the personnel we play, it'll be three linebackers. We can go in there now and say, hey, let's make a four linebacker. It's based on what you see, based on what offenses are doing. So I don't think that, you know, obviously competition is competition, but I don't think that's really, I wouldn't say that it's ramped it up to answer your question.
Now, if you guys get some good news on Paulier, how does he fit into this?
Man, I tell you, Paulier is just a great person and a really hard-working kid. He is a really hard-working kid. It's really the group has really embraced him, and you know, so you know, hopefully it works out. But yeah, I just love the fact that he's around. He gives off great energy, and you know, he's definitely you know, a good fit.
What's the juggling act for you if you may want to put him in that top couple groups, but you don't know if you're going to get him cleared yet? I'm sure that's.
Yeah, you know, like it's day 8. I think when we get closer to the game, you know, I could probably answer that better. Right now, our singular focus, like, is to, when we press play, when we watch tape, is to improve, because you can't worry about it. You know, every day these guys we got to roll. You know, every day we got to get better. We got to be, we have to be efficient in our time. So I haven't really thought that much. I mean, think about it obviously, but our focus right now is get everybody ready, and we get closer to the game. You know, we'll handle that appropriate time.
Before the spring, Dallas probably penciled in maybe as your middle linebacker gets hurt in the foot.
Yeah.
Has he caught up? How comfortable, or where is he right now?
Yeah, I mean, I have a high level of trust in Dallas, like as a person that can, you know, numbers called, go out there and play. So he hasn't really, I mean, he's been engaged. He's been with us step by step, even throughout the spring. He's still a leader, front and center every meeting, still vocal. So he's been here. He's been here enough years physically. I mean, so I don't think he's far behind. You know, I mean, he's obviously, you love to see him practice and you love to see him have a spring, but you know, I think for him, the mental part is more important. It's just a stage of his career.
Is he full go with the limitations at this point?
I don't want to answer that, but I mean, you know, at the end of the day, with all our players, you know, it's just how you have to be smart, you have to be wise. You know, you have to be wise about how you use them. But I'd rather not answer specifics of, you know, and you can understand that.
Al, ask
What
Cody.
did you say about your room that you got Roger Mitchell, Kayvon Pope, Dallas sitting there? basically seniors who probably 2 years ago could have gone other places and played. And obviously you had that great group of guys last year. So what does it say about your room that y'all keep coming up with these 4th and 5th year guys that are sticking around?
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, it's no credit of mine. I mean, this is the linebacker position at Ohio State for years has always been one that I feel is highly sought after, right? I mean, it's one of those core schools, and you know better than anybody just over the years. So I think when players do decide to commit to Ohio State, you know, they hang on to that vision. I think Taraj Dallas came on, that love and passion for Ohio State, the honor it is to be a linebacker. I think that plays a big part of it. I think we have great culture. You know, I really do. I think our kids starts with work ethic. You know, it really starts with love, right? This is Coach Day, tough love. But I think our guys really enjoy each other. On the same breath, they're competitive. There's a toughness, right? If you slip and we're going into drill, I'm taking you out. Like that's the competitive. It's like a brother, and that brotherhood is a big part of why I think those guys feel so ingrained in the program. And Coach Maradi, I just want to properly distribute the credit because this is Ohio State, the culture of Ohio State. You know, it's just one of those places.
But with those guys, do you also sense a little bit of a, I don't know, for want of another term, a desperation that this is it? I mean, this is when they got to do it. I mean,
I mean, I don't want to say desperation, but yeah, I mean, to be real, I mean, these guys, they put their work in, so now let's go. It's time. The time is now. So, some truth to that.
A couple more questions. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you feel it every day. I mean, every day matters. Every drill matters. When you come back in this meeting, that meeting matters. You know, are you on time and you taking notes? I mean, there's competition in everything. You know, and so yeah, I feel it, and that's what we need. We need competition. You know, and more guys do that, the more their best shows, and we need their best.
Hey, when you see guys like Dallas and the other seniors who stayed here, who played behind great linebackers, and Dallas says he learned so much from Cup last year, but they stayed here, they didn't transfer, they didn't go someplace else to be team. What does that say about your character?
I think it says everything about their character. I mean, they understand that, you know, delayed gratification. Not everything's instant, right? So I think a lot of times we get anxious, we panic. It doesn't show up right now. Sometimes you don't know, you got to put the work in. Sometimes things don't just click. You have to hang in there, but you know, through that process, you become more. So I think that says a whole heck of a lot, you know, about their character. I think that's the essence of why they'll be successful beyond football.
One last question, guys.
Have you seen their leadership in that maturity?
I have, yeah. And I really challenge these guys to be more vocal, you know, and also by what they do. So for sure, absolutely, I've seen it.